Yes, family, blessed love, and give thanks for all of those who are coming in. Thanks for the Sabbath seal up, eh? Yes, my family, definitely giving thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. And as I said, give thanks also for the wonderful day of rest. Give thanks for the Sabbath going through. Give thanks for a wonderful evening now upon us. And those who have taken the time to come and sit in with us. And of course, just giving a moment for the rest of the regular family to surely come in. And we are thankful that Marcus Messiah Garvey will be the word of light for the moment and the word of encouragement for us all. And give thanks for Messiah Garvey in the realms of us. As you know, we will be definitely taking the time that is tomorrow evening in the Tiger's Temple to highlight Messiah Garvey's ancient links with some of the more outstanding Meduneta figures. But for sure, this is something that I know each and every one will be definitely looking forward to. I myself, well, I'm ready. I am ready for, from Kente Amente to Marcus Garvey. And it's good, that the family are not afraid of new knowledge and new information and inspiration and things of the sort, because, many of us, we are afraid of information. You'll be surprised. Some of us, we run from the truth. Some of us, we run from new knowledge. Anything that appears as if it's going to shake the status quo, we are up and out of here. And sometimes what you're getting as new knowledge shouldn't shake your status quo. It is supposed to add to it and would add to it for sure. But because of ignorance and you wanting to stay ignorant, and you just want to be a regular kind of thinker forever. And that is why for sure you will always shun the right information and stay ignorant, and the attitude will also show. So we are thankful for those who have kept the meditation for higher thoughts, because that's what it's all about. A lot of us, we talk a lot about, oh, this is symbolic and that is symbolic. But when the symbolism is put on the table with reality, we still don't conform at all, But anyway, we are very thankful for your presence with us, and give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. And as I said, my royal family, we are joyful coming out of the Sabbath day, seventh day of rest, of course, very key. As I was, the other evening we were talking about spirituality and religion. I'm sure you remember that reasoning. We were talking about, the whole aspect of the difference between spirituality and religion. And of course, Emperor Haile Selassie has a speech where, part of that, he definitely takes the time to distinguish between spirituality and religion. And in general, when you ask someone about the difference maybe between spirituality and religion, The answers are usually the same, because in this modern day time, most people consider whatever they are into not a religion, but maybe a way of life, or the true way, and that kind of stuff. While now you would find that an individual will tell you it's a way of life, it's a spiritual way of life, depending on how they want to explain it. So ones would tell you that a religion is usually a set of rules and precepts, practices, do's and don'ts, when and where, in and out, come and go. Don't do this and you must do that. So that ones would look at that as religion, where I would assume, I guess, somehow spirituality is not founded at all or linked whatsoever to the whole aspect of how you carry yourself. But anyway, within the mystics, of understanding, just put that in this within the mystic, of understanding. We definitely look into it in many different ways. Now, I'm saying of the Sabbath day. We all observe the Sabbath day, a day of rest and a day of tranquility and a day of joy. Now, the color for the Sabbath is white. Now, just that alone, we mentioned that the previous time, but just the Sabbath day alone, many ones will jump up and say, well, man, Sabbath day, this Sabbath thing, this is a religious thing, and it's some Christian thing, and we never keep no Sabbath, and you'll get a whole heap of that, even from Rastafari. But then again now, and you get different angles of it. Ones will tell you, well, there's no seventh day, it's just days. There's no seventh day, it's just days. and Saturday was named after the god Saturn, and these different things. So ones would put that to the forefront. Now, you see, this is where you have to put ignorance out, because anyone that even has a thought of scientific inclination, of meditation, will know that, hey, we are living in some level of a cycle. So the moon naturally has a cycle. The moon specifically has a time where the moon has a time where it is full, where it appears fully circular. And then there's a time when you just can't see it. And it's on the other side of the heavens during that time. That's interesting. So the fact that you can see that, then your mathematical mind is supposed to come into play. Then you say, but wait, so how long does it take this moon to be fully circular and bright, and then return back to the fully circular and bright? It does this we don't have a word for it, but it keeps doing it. We should call it something like moon month. Let's call it a month. Every time the moon is full and it fulls again, that's the end of a month. All right. So how long does this take anyway? Well, it takes 28 periods of the sun rising and setting. The sun does that every, let's call that a day. Every day the sun goes up and comes down. Every day. Well, it's not really doing that. It's the earth. Okay, hold on. Let's not argue. This is what it appears to us to be. That happens and we're calling it a day. Okay, fair enough. So it takes about 28 of these days, the sun rising and setting. It takes about 28 of these for this moon to become fully bright and circular, then disappear slowly, and then come back fully bright and circular. This is just common sense. There's no way any sensible thinking person can escape this. If you're trying to escape this, you really trying to put your head in the ground like the make-believe ostrich, because a real ostrich don't do that, but just showing you something you can, acquaint yourself with specifically, or meditate on something you're accustomed to, I should say. So what I'm saying is that, so you have 28 days, 28 sunrise and sunset, wherein this moon keeps doing the same thing, becoming full and bright and circular and full and bright and circular. All right, interesting. And the same moon has 4 specific spots that it clearly shows itself crossing over to fulfill this. So you have the new moon, you have the first quarter, then you have the full moon, then you have the last quarter. These 4 stages. This is something that is obvious. 4 stages along the circular of the heaven. So it's very interesting. Eh? When the moon is full, it will come up when the sun is going down. When the moon is new moon, it comes up when the sun is coming up. So that's why you can't see it at all, because it's right there next to the sun. So that's a division of time. And then there's a time now when the moon would rise when it's midnight, and a time when it's coming up when it's midday. And that's the first quarter and the last quarter season. See how mystic it is. All of that is the tracking. So what you notice here is that the 28-day cycle of this moon can be divided into 4 parts. And 4 into 28 is 7. So you naturally see now, follow me, you naturally see, this is not religion, this is mathematics. You naturally see that there is some credence to the 7-day period in nature. 7 sunrise and sunsets, if you want to call it that. The sun come up and go down, come up and go down. And in that 7 times of doing that, there's a specific energy that we must pay attention to, because the moon is just a symbol of many other things that are taking place. You naturally have a 28-day cycle within your goodie, naturally. The sun has its 28-day and 28-year cycle. And the fact that the moon has that cycle, that means every living thing that's connected to the moon must have a similar cycle in one way or the other. And the moon is in that cycle because of a greater energy that is in that cycle, that is conducting the moon's cycle. This is just natural mathematics and science. So the concept number 1 of a 7-day so-called week is not really too off. It's not no Rome invent that. Throw that away. This is what I'm saying, you know, we got to run from this. We got to be in search of higher knowledge. Throw that away, please, please, please. Go and listen to our good ancestor, Dr. Ivan van Sertima. He will tell you down to the second of time is Egyptian. The hour and the minutes and the calculation of the days are Egyptian. That's Ivan van Sertima. So it's just greater knowledge we're seeking here. So now, again, I would highlight the research of another great ancestor, Dr. Layla Africa, in his book, African Holistic Health. Dr. Layla Africa, where in that book now, it's, which page it is now, 76 or 74. One of them 2 pages there. When I've been into that so long now, I don't even remember the page now, but it's 76 or 74, where he clearly outlines, and many of you know the book and have the book right there on the shelf or somewhere, I'm sure. Go and look and see for yourself the old version of it. I think it's 7, if I'm not mistaken, it's 76 in the old version, and then he did a revised version where he mentioned it again in page 174. But you can play with them numbers and look, and you see it right there. 76, 74, 176, 174 new version. It's right there, where Dr. Layla Africa clearly says that each of the 7 days has its color and its different frequencies. Of course, everyone knows colors, stones, you know, but he's speaking now of the balance of how the brain reacts with the human goodie and with nature in general. So Dr. Layla Africa was highlighting that the left brain and the right brain represents the yin and the yang. And of course, the they have to do with the spiritual and the physical side of the body, which I'm sure most of us would know. And he's also highlighted that there are certain days where you have physical and certain days where you have spiritual. So for example, he highlighted that the Monday and the Wednesday and the Friday are spiritual days. And then he highlighted that the Sunday and the Tuesday and the Thursday are physical days. And as ones would know that within the Bobo Shanti order, actually that is it. You would read it even in the morning devotional principles, that Monday and Wednesdays are fasting days. Monday and Wednesdays are white days, connecting to Layla Africa's spiritual meditation, our ancestor, well researched and versed. And I mean, if I can't trust Dr. Layla Africa, I ain't trusting no doctor, nobody else. What are you talking about? And he's showing us now, even within our order, King Emmanuel order, the Friday also is a fasting day. That's the black over the white day. And then according to the very said book, the holistic health, African holistic health, Dr. Layla Africa once more, he's saying that Saturday now is the day when the yin yang is balanced, centigrade, portals are open. So it's a spiritual day too, but like spiritual day times 100 or something, you know what I'm saying? And that's the day that we call the Saturday. Dr. Africa is not no Adventist. Dr. Africa don't deal with religion. I'm positive of that. If you know him and listen to him and read his works. Dr. Africa is not into none of them things. He ain't, Abraham, Isaac, and Sabbath. But he's just showing you from his research as a scientist, these are the constructs of the days. So I went through all of that, even though that's not the title of what we're supposed to be talking about. I'm sure you have time. But I went through all of that just to show, again, when we are differentiating between religion and spirituality, because ones would clearly tell Bobo Shanti religious. You don't see them fellas holding Sabbath. Yeah. You don't see that it's white they wear on Sabbath, it's religion that. Oh my. And the Yoruba people just wear white sometimes. Yeah, I mean, but we looking so quickly to try to, dysfunction the spiritual order that is right in front of our faces, that we come with all kinds of cheap tricks. And I'm not speaking out of my head. Remember, this is an international world and social media, etc., etc. And it's just the reality, Almighty family, that sometimes you have to bring it on the table on that level. So you can see that that's a spiritual act. That's spirituality there in the midst thereof. So give thanks again for the Sabbath day, the day of rest and tranquility. And this is why, it's good to have knowledge, but you see, this is why we hold firm to the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, because an individual might ask you, why do you wear white on the Sabbath? And you may not be in a position to even start to answer why. Well, at least after hearing this, you should be able to say something. But anyway, the point is that even if you cannot explain exactly why, you should be able to explain why is it you're following the order of King Emmanuel. Because that's where it begins. And then, of course, it would be good that you could unravel why is it that you pray a specific way and turn a specific way during the service and these different things. You should be able to figure these things out, because everything is well in tune with nature. That is why we are positive. It is a spiritual order. Yeah. So give thanks again, my family. What a joyful, strong is taking place here as we are stepping into another meditation. And we want to go into Messiah Garvey this evening as it relates to the Olmec calendar, and more proof really to show the direct link. And again, this is also in preparation for the tomorrow evening. Now, I did a program once with Baba Every Time Fire. I think it was last year or the year prior to that, where I think that's the only program I ever did where I would have explained, or at least the let's say the punchline that we're getting to, I would have expressed that. That's on Baba Every Time Fire's program. But it really shows, again, the mystics that we were speaking of in another program. I think it was yesterday, when we were showing you that the hieroglyphs and the ancient symbolic writings and all of the mythology and the metaphors, if they're right and exact, must crystallize and become history. So the prophecy is the esoteric and the allegory and these different things, but they will literally become a reality. Isn't it? Just about 2 nights ago, we were listening to some program it was. Oh yes, we were watching the Haiti program there by the good brother there, man, right? Tariq Rashid, that's his name, right? Yes, give thanks for the works that the brother has been doing. And I think it was Sister Mama Bello from Haiti. She was explaining that Macandal, so if it's not Macandal or Desaline, it might be Macandal, was right in the midst of the enemy, teaching the history to those that were around, because he was not supposed to do that, but he was doing it in a symbolic form, which returns to what we've always been saying. Even, yes, yes, even our history, we just express the history in esoteric writings. And I will always go back to this very example of Jonah being swallowed by the fish, because obviously nothing can go so. I don't care what you tell me and try, oh, miracle of God. Hold on, just take your time. There's many type of people listening, so you have to be sure to know that, hey, there are ones that are saying, no, you're blaspheming there. Yeah, but anyway, stick to the point. And we would look at that and say, hey, that's impossible, and then throw the baby out with the bath water again. But that doesn't take away the reality of the man that has that name, because that name is a Christ name, Jonah, Noah. If you read the words of Kun Boyd, you would have a good understanding. Kun Boyd, brother was who mentioned it. Well, I think I mentioned him, but in a conversation with him, one of the times that we were sitting down, one of the deep thinkers really when it comes to symbolism. So the Messiah figure is even within the name, the Joseph and the Jonah and the Noah. We showed you how Jonah and Noah, the Joshua, the son of the Nun, and these different things, and the son of Kish, all of these things highly symbolic really, but that doesn't take away. I'm showing you something deep from the crystallization of it in history. And not just a history, but sometimes the history repeats itself every dispensation. So I don't want us to lose track of that here, because some of us, we just attain some knowledge and we fly gone, baby and bath water, and forget that the spiritual connection is very important. You can't negate the spirit. Spirit is not just knowledge, and the knowledge is supposed to help you fuel with understanding. So a lot of us just gaining knowledge and wow, this is some high stuff, but it's about application to it. As you can see, this the spirit of the spirits are getting thick in them time here. So whether it comes to family, life, domestic affairs, your health, economic growth, you gotta have the spirit. The spirit is a part of it. Your spirit and the spirit in general, connecting to the universe. It's just reality. Because remember, life is one thing, and the thing deep, but this is why Messiah Garvey can say words like what you see here. After my enemies are satisfied, in life or death, I shall come back to serve you, even as I've served you before. In life, I shall be the same. In death, I shall be a terror to all the foes of Negro liberty. If death has power, then count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or cyclone, or plague, or pestilence, or as God would have it, then be assured that I shall never desert you or make your enemies triumph over you. He ain't just talking. He know what he's saying. Messiah Garvey is an African spiritualist. Talk about spirituality. He know exactly what he's saying. He understands nature. Yeah, and the intelligence that he carrying. He knows that whatever the case is, before he came as this, he knew where he was. You see, that's it. When you knew where you were before you were here, then you ain't got no problem when it comes to where you're going afterwards. So you can talk and say, don't worry, do what you want. I come in for you. Yeah? When they killed Macandal again, yeah, what did he tell them? Coming back as a mosquito. He says, all right? Yeah. Yeah. He coming back as a mosquito. You check it. And it says that a plague of malaria came upon the French. Is the French or the British? One of them. And cleaned them out. And the black people were immune to that. Because these are African scientists. They understand the powers that they have. So just before they kill him, you know, they said that's the man last said the words, I'm coming back for you, I'm gonna kill you. Coming back as a mosquito. So you could imagine the great Macandal. And Macandal is one of the early warriors and heroes in the Haiti Revolution. And he was well known for using his knowledge of the herbs to poison the enemy. They said that he took out between 6,000 or 8,000 of our enemies. And they say he would take out the black enemies too. In fact, I think he does work on them first. So, you know, amongst us, we have cutthroats and sellouts, and spies, and all sorts of wicked ones. Eh? Yeah. So, Messiah Garvey, you know, as we said, the Olmec connection with Mr. Garvey is something that we've been speaking about for a long time now. Well, not a long time. I gotta be careful how much long I put on that there, but still, from eternity, really. From eternity. You know, we just come and kind of revive it. And the first thing that stands out, is the look. That's the first thing that stands out. I don't think anyone can deny there's some similarity with Marcus Messiah Garvey and the Olmec statues, the Olmec head structures. No, it's not. There's several of the Olmec head structures. And of course, you know, you can see many people I've observed looking just like the ancient Olmec. Whether you like or like not, no man can deny Idi Amin is one of them raw Olmec, which really shows even down to the head, everything. And of course, one of the things that stand out about the Olmec people are they are generals on the battlefield. The Olmec ones are warriors. And of course, in the ancient Mayan tradition, Aztec tradition, these are seen as gods. You know, Huracan is an Olmec. And we touched upon Huracan in the previous episode we had here. I was showing you a bit of the Night of the Black Tiger, showing you that the Huracan, where they get the term hurricane from, the Huracan is an Olmec. So when you hear Marcus Messiah Garvey say, look for him in the whirlwind and look for him in the thunderstorm and the cyclone, and the hurricane is the Huracan, you know, the Olmec figure. So that is very, very important. You cannot separate Marcus Garvey from the Olmec. Remember, Garvey was a timekeeper on a banana plantation there in Central America. Eh? Remember, this is the same place where these Olmec statues have been discovered. And the Olmec themselves, remember that the Olmec, the term, they're the shy people, the shy. And the term shy seems to be linked a lot with the Chinese. And there's a link with the Olmec and the Chinese, really. Yeah, in reality, but the Chinese is not the Chinese that you know today. We're talking about the first set of dynastic periods of China, the Shangli dynasty, and these dynastic periods were Black, Negro, kings. We've done programs on that, I'm sure some of you can remember. And there was a direct link with the shy, the same shy people, X-I, that's how it's spelled. The shy people, which are the Olmec people, as you can see. Now, the mystic, now, you can see them they have that also that similar feature. Yeah. Now, the mystic here, what I'm showing you, mighty family, is that we're looking at the said Olmec people, the shy people, and the term Olmec comes from the word Oli. Oli, in that main tradition, means rubber. So the Olmec people are the rubber people. That's why they say anywhere you find the Olmec, you find the rubber tree, because the Olmec people are directly linked with the rubber tree. So when you observe now, Marcus Messiah Garvey, as we've shown before, Marcus Messiah Garvey himself would have had a rubber tree plantation in all mystics of the Olmec. In fact, it's the same rubber tree plantation that the Firestone Rubber Company got possession of by President King of Liberia, who gave them the acres of land that belonged to Marcus Garvey. That same Firestone Rubber Company, as you've seen in the Night of the Black Tiger, clearly showing you that same Firestone Rubber Company really went through a thing from 1999 to 2000, where they had serious trouble with those tires that were made from the rubber of Marcus Messiah Garvey plantation. So when you hear the man say, look for me all around, it's no joke at all with the mighty prophet. And it was the 17th of August that year that they had to recall all the Firestone tires of a specific brand, I would believe, but it was a lot, because they were just ripping up all over the world, and especially on Jeeps like the Forerunner. And hear that, the Forerunner, because you see, that is what the Olmec is. If you remember, we were talking about John the Baptist, eh? Yeah, now it's coming forward to I. Is you see, the Olmec now is the Forerunner, the harbinger, the one that goes before the Savior, the one that goes before the Messiah, the one that goes before, you know, the golden child as such. So the Olmec is seen as that, coming before the bearded man. Some of these people like to call it the bearded white man. I don't know how they put that together, because I've seen them glyphs. I don't know who on earth tell them that them is white men. But anyway, because some would say that they mistook Cortez and these ones when they came in for the prophecy of the bearded white men coming, and that is why they got slaughtered. That is the Indians, as they call them, that were there at the time, from Mayan, Aztec, Incas, all of them people here. But I'm telling you that the prophecy is that the Olmec is a forerunner the shy people. And as I said, Ollie, Rubber, and you could see the link directly with Marcus Messiah Garvey there as well. But now I'm adding to it the forerunner, him that goes before. And again, Marcus Messiah Garvey, I think everyone, even if you're not a Rastafari, you must agree that Marcus Messiah Garvey is a forerunner. That is why we highlight all of the different the different traditions you have, from the Hebrew Israelites of today to the Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Earth, and anything that name conscious and conscious Rastafari, you know, is because of Marcus Messiah Garvey. You understand? So all of us that are in the conscious realms, no matter who, it is because of Marcus Messiah Garvey's inspiration. And of course, him coming and breaking the ceiling, the glass ceiling, if you want to call it that. I know they usually use that in terms of a woman's achievement, but I just say what I feel to say. He really is the one that woke up the Black nation, all power and respect. So he's seen as that forerunner and woke us up in a way that we were never woken up before. You understand? Talking about 3 ships on the high seas, rubber plantation in Liberia, laundromats and supermarkets and grocery stores, I guess the same thing, and other different things. Messiah Garvey, you know, had the Black Cross nurses, a medical wing, educational wing, internationally renowned, a government within a government, Messiah Garvey. So that was the great inspiration. That is why when you go through American history, you hardly can find anything at all about Garvey. Can you imagine that? Now tell me that is not a plot. Tell me that is not purposely done just so you can't remember who this figure was. Or you'll find plenty on Martin Luther King and even Malcolm X you'll learn a little about, but you're not gonna hear nothing about Marcus Garvey. Black History Month come, nothing to say about Garvey. Can you imagine that? Now that is to tell you how powerful Messiah Garvey is, you know what I mean, in the sight of these people here. So now, yes, the Olmec figure. Now, this is the Olmec calendar. We check it here, the Olmec calendar, and we've come to the fullness that this was established the 13th of August, 3113. Now, when you do your studying, family, you would come across different dates because of the years of back and forth between the archaeologists. So you would also find the same 13th of August, 3114, and all of that was a miscount. So, you know, because of the way that the structure of the main count system, or the Olmec main count system, really goes. But anyway, this is the main calendar, as some call it, or the Olmec calendar. And at the same time, you see the figure here. If you notice these 4 squares, symbolic of the same, very similar, I should say, of the same 4 beasts around the Most High that we were speaking about. And this figure here has his tongue sticking out, which is definitely showing you he's a Twa, one with Bess. That's how you know Bess, with his tongue sticking out for sure. And then now, this is an ancient Olmec figure here. You can see how they bang up the nose for obvious reason. I mean, when you take care of a nose like this, you hardly want the lips, and so you got to figure out who it is. But anyway, the Twa people, from the age of what they call the Pygmies, are said to be the first, one of the first or oldest people in creation, really, from the interior of Africa, Olmec country. So anyway, these Olmec people, the calendar began 3113, the 13th of August. Now, when we heard a lot about the 21st of December, 2012, that I'm sure you all remember that, 2012, that was about 10 years ago, eh? And many people thought that the world was going to come to an end. And that was the day of the ending, really, of the Mayan's calendar. So the Mayan calendar is from August the 13th, 3113. And it seals on the 21st of December, 2012. August the 13th, now mystic, that's also the birthday of Brother Vaughn Benjamin of the midnight. So August the 13th now, mystically, of course, you can obviously see it's August and it's in the midst of Marcus Messiah Garvey's Earth Day. Now, the Olmec calendar is considered to be extremely prophetic. And obviously, it is linked with the same people we've been highlighting, the same shy people, which is the Olmec people. Now, let me just read something here from historymatters.gmu.edu, and it says here, Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World, the Principles of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. After fighting World War I, and this is somewhat of an introduction, I think. After fighting World War I, ostensibly to defend democracy and the right of self-determination, thousands of African-American soldiers returned home to face intensified discrimination, segregation, and racial violence. Drawing on this frustration, Marcus Garvey attracted thousands of disillusioned Black working class and lower middle class followers to his Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA. The UNIA committed to notions of racial purity and separatism, insisted that salvation for Americans, African Americans, meant building an autonomous Black-led nation in Africa. The Black Star Line, an all-Black shipping company chartered by the UNIA, was the movement's boldest and most important project, and many African Americans bought shares of stock in the company. A 1920 Black Star Line business meeting in Harlem's Liberty Hall brought together 25,000 UNIA delegates from around the world and produced the important statement of principles, the Declaration of Rights of the human race, human people, the Negro peoples of the world. I'm telling you, the Declaration of Rights of the Negro people of the world. But then the Negro people are the human people, isn't it? All right. But anyway, you still can pick up a tone of vibes in this here, disillusioned people. But anyway, let us go into the document itself. Now, of course, you can see it's a lengthy document. Of course, the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro people. I still say human people, of the Negro people. So the preamble: be it resolved that the Negro people of the world, through their chosen representatives in convention assembled in Liberty Hall, in the city of New York and United States of America, from August 1st to 31st, in the year of our Lord, 1920, protest against the wrongs and injustices they are suffering at the hands of their white brethren, and state what they deem their fair and just rights, as well as the treatment they propose to demand of all men in the future. Okay. Now, yeah, so this is what is going to be said here. Now it says here, we complain that nowhere in the world, with few exceptions, are Black men accorded equal treatment with white men. Although in the same situation and circumstances, but on the contrary, are discriminated against and denied the common rights due to human beings for no other reason than their race and color. We are not willingly accepted as guests in the public hotels and inns in the world for no other reason than our race and color. In certain parts of the United States of America, our race is denied the right of public trial according to other races when accused of crime, but are lynched and burned by mobs, and such brutal and inhumane treatment is even practiced upon our women. That we complain, that the European nations have parceled out among them and taken possession of nearly all of the continent of Africa, and the natives are compelled to surrender their lands to aliens, and are treated in most instances like slaves. 4. We complain that in the southern portion of the United States of America, although citizens under the federal constitution and in some states almost equal to the whites in population and are qualified landowners and taxpayers, we are nevertheless denied all voice in the making and administration of the laws and are taxed without representation by the United States or by the state governments, and at the same time compelled to do military service in defense of the country. Okay, so of course I'm not going to read everything to you, but you get an idea of the complaints as such that Marcus Messiah Garvey and the team was bringing forward. And that's just the reality of the time. You know, even now, really, that's the reality. It may look different to many, but it's the same thing. But that's the reality of the time. So let's just go here now, in a sense, to the solution, if you want to say. In order to encourage our race all over the world and to stimulate it to overcome the handicaps and difficulties surrounding it, and to push forward to a higher and grander destiny, we demand and insist on the following Declaration of Rights. Be it known to all men that whereas all men are created equal and entitled to the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and because of this we, the duly elected representative of the Negro peoples of the world, invoking the aid of the just and almighty God, do declare all men, women, and children of our blood through the world free, denizen, and do claim them the citizens of Africa, the motherland of all Negroes, that we believe in the supreme authority of our race in all things racial, that all things are created and given to man as a common possession, that there should be equitable distribution and appointment and apportionment of all such things, and in consideration of the fact as a race we are now deprived of those things that are morally and legally ours. We believe it right that all such things should be acquired and held by whatsoever means possible. I wonder if you check the word here, the man clearly showing you he believes in the supreme authority of our race in all things racial. That's serious, because most leaders of the time would tell you they fight against white supremacy and they fight against black supremacy. I've heard it. Even, you know, all the leaders would have, most of them coming after Mr. Garvey would have said that as well. And also here, whatever means possible. We should be acquired, and hell, let me get it here from the top. It is showing you that we believe it right, that all such things should be acquired and held by whatsoever means possible. So you can see where Messiah Garvey is thinking, you know, whatever it takes to get our right, we are ready for this. That we believe the Negro, like any other race, should be governed by the ethics of civilization and therefore should not be deprived of any of those rights or privileges common to other human beings. We declare that Negroes, wheresoever they form a community amongst themselves, should be given the right to elect their own representatives to represent them in legislatures, courts of law, or such institutions as may exercise control over this particular community. Now, yes, this is Marcus Messiah Garvey speaking here in what has been set down. And there is a lot, you know, you can go through it. And we believe all men entitled to common human respect, and our race should in no way tolerate any insult that may be interpreted to mean disrespect to our race or color. So it is a lot, really, what this is showing you, that Marcus Messiah Garvey, talking about what people would call ahead of his time, then stepping up and look what the prophet would have put together with all understanding of who we are as a people. And this is in 1920. Now, interesting, when you really look at this, this is taking place in August. From the 1st of August to the 31st of August. So that means Messiah Garvey's Earth Day would have actually come while this whole session here would have been in play. And if you check it too, because it's 1920, that means this would have been his 33rd Earth Day, if I'm counting correctly. Because, and we can't overlook the number 33, Remember, the number 33 is also the number of Christ. This is what I'm saying. So all the esoterics, all the symbolism, it must crystallize into flesh. Anybody that will be talking about Marcus Garvey ain't no Christ figure, is religion, yeah. You something, you somewhere else. Believe me, believe me, believe me. Yeah. I'm with Ronoko Rashidi with this one here, but Ronoko Rashidi said he don't believe God is a man or human being. But if a man had to be God, it has to be Marcus Garvey. Yeah. Good shot. So Messiah Garvey now, mystically, his Earth Day, the 33rd Earth Day, he was 33 years old in the midst of all of this here. And interesting as well, remember this again, is when we officially determine that the colors of the red, black, and green be the colors of the Negro race. Now that's 39, that's number 39 within the whole recommendations. And remember again that it is the same day that the Olmec calendar would have officially begun. This is the same day, according to the records, during that conference in 1920, that the red, black, and green was officially hoisted, officially the flag of the Negro race. Now, as you could see, even as Bobo Shanti, that's a key flag. We don't just fly it because Marcus flies alone. No, that is the first banner we rise. No joke about this. When it's service, statical and churchical. We have clear understanding what we're doing. And of course, with the lion crown head symbol, the fifth kingdom of Negus symbol, the R symbol within our banners, pardon me. Because remember, the black 5-point star is Marcus Garvey as well. Yeah, you better believe that. And I'm showing you now, so this banner represents the beginning. This banner represents the way forward. You understand? This banner represents our state. Obviously, an industry and growth. That's why this banner is key. Our economical strength. Yeah, this banner here, our economical growth, industry, nationhood, because that's what Messiah Garvey come and teach us. We lose them principles and we gone somewhere else, just some spirit thing alone, and who right and who wrong. But what about nation building, nationhood and economic growth, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social Transformation? That's what we're dealing with. Ministry of Agriculture. That's what Marcus Messiah Garvey taught us under the banner of the red, the black, and the green. That's why I give thanks to King Emmanuel principles that stress the red, black, and green go before, which is our industry and our strength. So I'm showing the family here again. I don't think it's by chance that Messiah Garvey rose the red, the black, and the green, specifically on the 13th day of August. And that was just 5 days away from his 33rd Earth Day. And keep in mind, this calendar here, the Olmec calendar. So this alone proves to you again that Messiah Garvey is one with the Olmec. He is the Olmec. For Marcus Messiah Garvey specifically, again, without a doubt, no one can deny the appearance. But then anywhere you find the Olmec, you find the rubber tree, the Ollie. And the Olmec symbol is the bat. Some deep science, eh? Yeah, all of that linked into the Batman, but that's a next story altogether. We're not even going there right now. But for sure, and Marcus Messiah Garvey and the rubber lamp, and the judgment that came to Firestone Rubber Company afterwards. Now, again, I think everyone should by now have an understanding of the Mask of Lord Packard. We would refresh you quickly tomorrow, but for sure, I am really expecting those coming into the temple. That's why the Night of the Black Tiger is necessary. Even to watch the documentary 7 that's on the YouTube, to get a clear understanding of how the Mask of Lord Packard, the same Olmec people, the same main people, how it is directly connected again to Marcus Messiah Garvey, showing you that the Olmec figure in the Lord Packard mask is the Marcus Messiah Garvey of today. That's without a doubt. That's clear. That's clear. So the link of Messiah Garvey with the ancient tradition of the rubber people, the Olmec people, is undeniable. And again, just to add to it, the fact that he raised his banner on the day, basically that was like New Year's Day, in a sense. If the calendar began on the 13th of August, in a sense, the 13th of August is the day it began. So for Marcus Garvey to be rising the red, black, and green on the 13th of August, in a sense, it's like he's rising the flag on New Year's Day. Yeah, because he is the Olmec. He is the forerunner, the one that comes before the bearded man. Just again, like John the Baptizer, the man that come before the bearded man. You see, and this is why I was saying in that previous program there, don't get caught up and totally forget that everything must be balanced. So as symbolic as the story is, unless it's a junk story, if it is a credible symbolic story, it will crystallize into history someday. And I'm going to repeat the example I gave earlier with Mama Bello saying that even Macandal would have taught our history in the presence of the colonializer, the slave master. But because he was teaching it as if he talking a story, they couldn't pick it up. So he would have taught history with symbolic tones. Just imagine that. And this is why I'm saying to the family in the same way, you know, just overstand that science there. That's the reality of it. That so once it's something symbolic, once it's a symbolic story, once it's an allegory story, and this esoteric story and a metaphor, once it is that, and it's coming from our loins, believe me, there's something tangible about it, something physical, literal, historical about it, whether it has gone, whether it is to come, or whether it continually comes throughout the ages because it's a scientific reality. This is deep, family. This is deep, and I really want us to kind of keep that in our minds as we're going forward. Because I know everybody knows everything today. You know, everybody know everything, and they have it right, and they know it, and yeah, nobody can teach them nothing now. So it's all right, you know. But I'm just making sure that I remain the conscience of the conscious, yeah, when it comes to the reality. You know, I saw someone put in a comment, not in this chat here, but it was a comment in one of the videos. How and his words was, how on earth could Haile Selassie be Osiris? I would like him to prove that to me. Something like that, he said. I said, no, here we go again. No, you tell me. Obviously, somebody that just stumbled upon it for the first time, and maybe I just said it in passing. Obviously, I haven't sat down on that for no time now. And this person, like, wow, like he's crazy, man. How is it? Haile Selassie could be Osiris, you know, and he's looking for the proof and all of these different things. So sometimes even those of you who are really up to date, you just gotta be patient, even with as I be patient with all ones that are seeking such vibes. So yes, family, give thanks, you know. Looking forward to your presence for sure tomorrow evening. Remember to come into the temple. It is only $10 coming into the temple as a contribution specifically. And unless you're coming in on the very day, and you have until midnight tonight, yeah, until midnight tonight to get your $10 contribution package, if you want to call it that, to come into the temple. As I said, tomorrow evening from Kente Amente to Marcus Garvey, and this is not Kente Amente here, this is wet wa wet. But from Kente Amente, all things in between, to Marcus Garvey. Family, listen. I don't know why I get a joy just meditating on what will be taking place tomorrow evening, because we're going in, man. We're going in, and this is why we're doing it on temple. So those who value and appreciate love it will be definitely there. As I said, family, we are going to take time. It might take us about 2 hours. We're trying to make it concise and make sure that we have enough time for you to ask your question or even make your comments. And of course, I'm praying that we keep it to the subject area. We're showing you the direct link, undeniable, with Messiah Garvey, and not just Anapu, but the ancient Medu Neter in general, and exactly how we see Marcus Messiah Garvey fulfilled in this time. You know, as I said, you know, family, all of this ancient stuff and all the symbolism stuff, there's a reality to it. And if we can't see the realities, like we're dealing with spookism, So I'm encouraging you, family, to get your pass tonight. by this time tomorrow evening, we will be just getting ready to come on, licking the chalwa, taking 1 or 2 more pulls before we open the door to the temple. So as I said, you could definitely contact us. You know how to contact us. Very easy, very simple. Just email us, Priest Isaac Institute@gmail.com. All the links are in the description below, and you can visit the website. And of course, remember, since I said visit the website, well, this is the website here. Remember that you could definitely get your I'm the Best t-shirts. Wonderful. These are so pretty, you know, but for sure, once you order the International Homeschool Program, my family, definitely, and you take the full program, you definitely will be getting one of these shirts, free, of course, and special delivery as well. So make sure you take full advantage of that. That is just for a limited time. That is just for a limited time. And of course, remember, when it comes to the International Homeschool Program, when you contact us, even if you have not purchased one of the programs as yet, you can just ask for a free sample of the program itself, and we will show you exactly what it is you will be getting, you know, so you will know exactly what's coming your way. So family, give thanks again. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow evening in the temple. Yeah, from Kente Amente. I was going to say Anubis. From Kente Amente. Yeah, and Anubis too, to Marcus Garvey. Give thanks, family. Love and light. Holy Emmanuel, I Selassie, Jah Rastafari. If you don't know what to do next, go over to Radio Anu. The link is in the description